Welcome or welcome back. If you're new here, I'm Jamie, and this will be a reading for my fire signs. There's going to be 3 individual spreads here, so if you're not new to the channel and you just want to jump to your sign, it'll be time-stamped in the pinned section of the comments. Unless this is a premiere, of course, then you got to sit through it, sorry. But I do appreciate it. If you're new to tarot, just know that not every reading is going to resonate in your sign, and so if you feel like I'm wrong, I just want you to disregard the reading. Please never try to make it fit. I'm going to pull cards like King, Queen, Emperor, and Empress. Those cards describe a really specific personality, but have nothing to do with sex or gender. Some folks feel like the readings are in the reverse or the other way around, and if you feel like that, you can go ahead and take it that way. All the information for personal readings will be in the pinned section of the comments and in the description of the video. You'll also find the links to my other social media sites. I don't know where my brain just went with that. My other social media, guys. It's linked in the description. You can also find in there how to book with me and all that fun information. If you want to become a member, you can click join. If you can't find the join button, that whole link is also in the description of the video. Wow, tripping over words already. All right, let's get into this. Let's start with Aries. So I did a vote this week and everybody chose love, so that's what we're doing. So we have in their head overthinking, stressed, or overanalyzing with boss, stable, rich business owner. Does say boss daddy. Could be for some of you, but no gender, right? And we have attraction. You attract romantic love by enjoying this moment fully. Hi. You got something to say? Oh, I'm not psychotic or whatever. My cat is underneath this desk. Okay, so the overall energy here is the 9 of Wands. We have the Hierophant, the Queen of Cups, the 5 of Swords, but in the reverse. The 5 of Cups, Judgment, Scorpio energy, Strength, Leo energy, and the Hierophant is Taurus energy. I don't think I called that. At the bottom of the deck, we have the 2 of Swords. To me, it seems like you're trying to get over something with somebody. There seems to be like this huge fight that broke out, and some pretty nasty things were said. You're still committed to this person, but I think this, like whatever happened here, it seems to be the nastiness was sort of more on their end. So for you, I think maybe, you still feel some type of way, and right now you're not really talking to this person, and they're really overthinking it, and they are going to come apologize. They do mean it. I think whatever this person said, it's like they said something, and they didn't maybe mean it the way it was said. I want to say it like that. And now someone's overthinking, like, how do I fix this? And somebody else was really I think really offended by what was said, or they really just took it the wrong way. That's what I'm getting here. I'm getting that like someone's going to come and they're going to make it right. But I feel like there's a part here that you're not seeing on your own end, where it's like, maybe something was like said, but I think that you took it like all the way out to left field or something, you know, like it wasn't, like, you know, and you're like having a conversation with somebody and they like say something and it like wasn't about you, but like somehow in your mind it was, you know, or like somebody says something and like you take it as, you know, them just recklessly saying something nasty to you, you know. Like it would be, I don't know, what's a good example? So I tell my husband that I want to go on a diet, right? And so he assumes I'm serious about this because for a week I've been doing it. And, you know, I get a tub of ice cream and sit down on the couch next to him and he just says, babe, I thought you were on a diet. And so the way I take this is that he's insinuating that I need to be on a diet, that I'm fat, and that I'm being absolutely ridiculous with this ice cream right now, despite that not being what's said, you know? It would be, it's just kind of, it's coming off something like that, you know what I mean? Where it's like, somebody touched an insecurity. Somebody said something they shouldn't have. And it didn't sit right, you know? So, you know, and they know that, like, they didn't mean what was said, but at the same time, they are still considering how you're feeling and trying to figure out how to like, fix it with you. Because I don't feel like they meant something the way you took it, period. That's what's going on here. You might feel like this, like I feel like whatever was said made you feel really insecure. It's not about wanting to leave somebody. It's not about hating them. It was like whatever they said, like went straight to your soul, as if it was like some, you know. It's almost like they affirmed something within you without actually meaning to do that. So, we have the Devil in the reverse, Capricorn energy, the Four of Cups, the Moon, Pisces energy, and at the bottom of the deck, the Eight of Swords. Yeah, there's something going on with you with an insecurity, and I'm not, you know, I'm not judging here. I'm a fucking woman. Like, I do this twice a month, you know, but it's like, yeah, you know, and even like the person that I'm with, they understand, okay, she's just being crazy right now. Let's, you know, she decided to take that completely out of context. But the reality is that there is this deep insecurity within me on whatever the subject is that's being talked about, you know. So I think there's something here that, like, you're not paying attention to. It's not that the other person, you know, wasn't insensitive or, you know, might have said something that they shouldn't have or something, but I feel like, you know, it's not the situation you thought it was. It's something that it's some type of disappointment that you have within yourself, and someone else really just affirmed it here. But what you're not seeing, though, is that it is that, you know, it's like to you, this person is an absolute dick for what they said, you know, or like something like that. But I think somebody really, like, they are really over-analyzing what someone else says because they're truly just too critical of themselves, you know, and I think this person, especially if it was something that made you feel like they might find you unattractive, that's not the case at all. So someone's going to, you know, come back around and you know, be lovey-dovey. But I think if you're waiting for an apology, I think they'll give you one, but it may feel empty because they don't actually know what the hell they did, you know. I think somebody just already was having a bad day, and this, again, just affirmed something within them. So, you know, you might have to look at something that maybe you, because with the attraction card, it's making me feel that sometimes you don't feel attractive. And if your partner were to affirm that at all, that would just make it 100% true. I mean, obviously everybody wants their partner to be attracted to them. I'm just, you know, it's like they're with you, so they must be, right? Like, I don't know, there's something going on with Aries that they got to look at within themselves. Because actually the relationship's pretty good. I think things are okay. Like I said, there's an insecurity. And this, I really feel is physical. You know, Yeah, there's someone's not really loving on themselves right now. And again, no judgment. I'm not into the whole shoving self-love down somebody's throat. Sometimes it's actually okay to self-loathe. Sometimes we got to go through that too. We're allowed to not like ourselves sometimes, but we got to also sit with that and say, what is it about me that I'm not liking right now, and is it even valid? Because a lot of people have insecurities that aren't even real. But you know how many female friends I have that are like literally the most average weight ever who feel they're fat? And they're not even joking. Like, they're not like looking for like pity or something. They feel like they're fat. They're at the gym 4 days a week and they still feel fat. It's just an insecurity. But if somebody said, like, made a fat joke around them and they assumed that they're, a fat person, like, they could get really insecure in that. I think that's what's going on here. Not to keep talking in circles, but I think somebody's coming to apologize. They just don't even know what for, but there's no reason for you to be insecure with your partner, whoever this person is. They definitely find you attractive. Let's move into Leo. Okay, so we have bad reputation and make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Let's slide it and keep this shut. I got a husband and he plays video games, but he can't hear himself because the headphones. We will hear him though if I don't close that. So the overall energy here, the Five of Pentacles. I have the Eight of Swords in the reverse, the Three of Wands in the reverse, the Five of Swords in the reverse. The Nine of Cups, the Hierophant in the reverse, Taurus energy, the Ten of Wands. At the bottom of the deck, the Four of Wands. So, there could be someone that you're not talking to right now, and I think you're letting it go. There's something about just, you're tired of waiting on somebody. I feel like you're willingly just, it's like, you feel like they sabotaged everything and you just need to let it go. Like, if somebody cuts you off, does something crazy and then doesn't want to talk to you, like, it's okay to feel some type of way about it for a little bit, but, you can't sit around waiting on that person forever. So I feel you on this, and I think that at this point, you are more concerned with yourself. I think you don't even want a relationship you don't care about your reputation with this person anymore, you know, because I think they did, like, you know, when you look at this, like, this could be somebody who wants to win at all costs. They could be out here running their mouth, you know, just reckless. They just aren't loyal. Let's just say that. This person's selfish, they're not loyal. And I think you don't want to talk to them anymore. You are ready to just drop this so you can move on to a new chapter in your life. But, you know, what I like here is that there's this, like, strong mentality where it's like, I can't sit around because if I just stay in this energy, I'm going to end up, like, obsessed with this person and upset all the time. And I'm, you know, it's like, okay, well, they don't want to talk, then it's really time to just go out there and do my own thing. Because I think if you're not willing to just, like, continue putting up with the stress, and you also, like, you know, this is not somebody who's, it doesn't look like just made a simple, like, break, you know, they didn't just break up with you and then go mind their business and do their thing. It looks like, you know, somebody who's tried to, like, smear your reputation, you know, so it's like they did you wrong and then went out here and played the victim. That's what it looks like to me. And for you, that solidifies it's time to move on. So what's coming in? Three of Pentacles, the Hermit, Virgo energy, the Tower, Aries, Scorpio. The Hanged Man in the reverse, Pisces energy, the Three of Swords, the Devil in the reverse, Capricorn energy, bottom of the deck, the Star, Aquarius energy. I think that you may actually get a lot of attention kind of out of nowhere. What's interesting is, like, you already get attention when you're not looking for it. But I think for you, this is not about, you know, just even like jumping into the next thing. It's about letting this go so that you can get to the next. It's more about healing. Like, I don't feel like you're ready to jump into something. You know what I mean? I feel like there's more of this reflecting period of everything that went on and how somebody's probably not going to change. Like I think that you're not going to change your mind. Like, the pain is still there, but it's like you're ready to let it go. I think that the tie is no longer there, and this is more about healing. So I don't see something new coming in here, and I don't think you're actually looking for that. I think that what you feel like you have spent a lot of time waiting for someone to come back, and now you might be in this period of acceptance. It's time to let it go. You know, this is not going to work out. I have to just kind of sit through the pain and actually grieve the relationship so that I can actually move on. And this is the correct thing to do. You know, if you're seeing these two cards together, when you have the Hierophant in the reverse, you have the Devil in the reverse, I think everything is really confusing, but it's toxic, you know, and you can't heal in something that's making you sick. And I think, you know, this is advising that you taking space and going to figure out, you know, like what it is that you need and doing your own thing here without, I think, waiting. You know, it was like the main thing here is no longer waiting, cutting ties, letting the shit go. It's clearly toxic. You know, you're thinking back to all the bad things that did happen, and then this last stunt really, really solidified who this person is. So to me, it's a period of acceptance. This shit's not easy. So, you know, I think a breakup is already painful. Somebody not giving you clarity is extremely painful, can make you super obsessed. But I think the main problem here is the way that somebody tried to destroy you and your reputation just out of selfishness. So there's no reason to sit around and wait on that. So I feel like the cards are either try to wake somebody up and say, hey, listen, what the fuck are you waiting for? Somebody's not talking to you. This is what they did on the way out. They're out here smearing your name. Like, why would you wait on them? Why would you want them back in your life? For other people, this is just affirming. Like, this is just that next step of healing. It's hard to accept it, but, once you accept the truth, that's it. Sure, you're going to cry a little bit. You're going to be a little heartbroken. But I feel like, once I accept something, I'm over it like this. Seriously. I don't sit on it every day. But if I can't, if I delusionally just keep telling myself, well, maybe they'll come back around, maybe they'll make it right, maybe they'll make the effort, and I really prolong that period. So, and of course, everybody's in their own stage of healing. There's not a judgment, but this is not, just somebody who broke up with you and, worth getting back with if they're kind of toxic and trying to make you sound like the whole problem, which it does look like. All right, let's move into Sag. Okay, so we have separation. Time apart from your partner is on the horizon. Obsessive lover, dangerous, toxic, unhealthy, possessive, and unbothered. Five of Pentacles in the reverse as the overall energy. We have the Four of Cups, the Hanged Man, Pisces energy, the Nine of Swords. Now that Hanged Man is in the reverse. The Ten of Swords, the Three of Swords, those are both in the reverse, and the Devil in the reverse. Bottom of the deck, Six of Cups in the reverse. The only thing you got in the upright here is the damn Nine of Swords. Something you can't let go. I'm getting with the obsessive lover, like you could be a little bit obsessed with this person, but it's understandable because I think they were toxic. I think that there's still some communication going on, and that's like the hardest part, because I feel like the separation has already occurred, but you don't want it. You don't really want it, but like it's hard to be with this person. So I get there, again, after a period of not speaking, I think the two of you may be speaking again, but you're still not hearing what you want to. This person hasn't changed at all. Like, they can't even see things from your perspective, or they just seem completely unbothered. It'd be like you talk to somebody like a couple of weeks after the two of you break up, And it's like, well, how are things? Yeah, everything's fine. They act like they don't care. They're not hurt at all. While you may be finding, and of course, these energies can always be reversed. While somebody here is really finding it hard to eat and sleep, they're just really stressed out and they can't let it go. To them, it's not over. But I think to the other person, they're not, it's not that deep to them, or at least that's how it feels to you. You could feel like, this person never was bonded to you. Or like it's like your history with this person just doesn't matter to them. I don't know. There's something about the emotional bond that should be there, where this person, maybe could have some compassion for how you're feeling, or like how you felt, like maybe because you're falling apart without them, that it would be the same for them. Let me see, let's see if they're just saving face, though, what's really going on with this person, because this is your perspective of this person. It ain't shit for them to not be with you. They're good. They don't care. Tell me the truth about this person. The Nine of Cups in the reverse, the Knight of Pentacles, the Four of Pentacles. The Emperor, Aries energy, the Queen of Wands, the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. At the bottom of the deck, the Four of Swords in the reverse. Page of Wands. This person's not happy either, but what if I told you that they know how you're feeling and that they're playing a hand of cards here? I mean, the thing is, this person, they know that they're toxic. I feel like they know it, and they know how to really keep a person attached to them. So there's a game here. Like, they are really saving face. They want to make it seem like, they have other things going on in their life. They could even make it seem like other people are attracted to them or something like that. Like, there's something about their aloofness that's meant to make you feel like you're being replaced, or could be. But it's a power grab. Like, they're not actually happy. The Nine of Cups in the reverse. They're selfish, but not happy. They're definitely not going to let you go. They're just going to draw out this little game here. They feel like if they hold back the communication and maintain their distance, you'll do more and more and more. I don't know who I'm talking to, but I'll tell you how much more I would do for a bitch like this. Not anything. So just so you know, it's like, this person is not actually happy in life, but like they can now have their fun, and they know you're going to be sitting around miserable and upset and obsessed over them, and they can just play a game here. Why do you think they're still talking to you? Why do you think there's communication? This is bringing me back to flashbacks to like literally the ugliest dude I've ever been with, and I don't mean this just internally. This bitch was ugly, and used to play games like this, gonna break up with you for 3-4 days at a time, play little games like all these bitches want them. Well, you know what happened? That doesn't rock right with me. And that bitch was ugly and left all by himself. Sometimes that's how you gotta play a bitch back, because There is something about this person where they feel like they can keep you in place, come back around when they want, get you to do whatever they want, play little games with you. And you could be affirming it by admitting that you miss them, by wanting to talk to them. So be careful what you do with that. All right. I love you guys. I'll see you soon.